Okay, so we're going to talk to you about candy. So hopefully this will be fun, because if it's not, it's candy. I'm Peter Nicholson. I'm the Chief Creative Officer, and this is Bridget, and
Hi.
Creative Director. And as I like to say, she's our kind of social guru in terms of her knowledge about all social platforms. And Trolli is a interesting brand. Trolli Sour Bright Candy. Everybody familiar with the little sour worms? I'm sure they're really popular with everybody. Anybody like them? Excellent. Well, they're really popular with 14, 13-year-olds, Gen Z. We're all familiar with that wonderful term, Gen Z. Trolli's been we've taken that and really kind of turned it into the Gen Z brand for them. And I think one of the brand itself, when we started with it, was doing very, I'd say, a traditional way of what most candy brands would do and how to approach the market. And to some degree, we're saying moms were the target, which to me is the de facto answer to anything if we can't figure out what we want to target. So we challenged them on the way that they were doing things, because they were really missing who they're talking to and the strength of where they are and how they talk to each other. And that allowed us to shift the brand from kind of a more traditional TV build, awareness, drive to store, and move it to a bit more of a one-to-one engagement kind of relationship.
Yeah, so with that, the brand platform that we built for Trolli was all around weirdly awesome. And so everything that we do ladders up to and speaks to how the brand is bright, colorful, fun, playful, that has shapes. Like it's a candy that when you eat, you want to play with it. And so we keep everything, content, engagement, everything revolves around that idea of being weirdly awesome as a brand. So when it came time for us to kind of move into our 2017 planning, we decided that we wanted to really find an ambassador to help bring Trolli to the next level, to really be that brand awareness play for them. They were really at risk of losing distribution in C-store. And so we found an ambassador, and then we created an omni-channel plan all around him. And so I think that this goes to a lot of the conversations that we've been having about really like the core of great creative and getting it out there and reaching your audience and resonating with them is that idea. So for us, it was partnering with James Harden, the weirdest beard in the NBA is what we like to call him. He's known for his beard. He's known for being weird and quirky, a little bit offbeat, creative. And so he resonated really well with the brand, not to mention the fact that he absolutely loves Trolli. So
and that was a big point. And Trolli and Jewell, our client, this was a great call on their part, in that they didn't seek out Harden. Harden came to them. He said, "I love your candy," and they were smart enough to say, "Great, we'll give you some," and call it a day. They decided instead to say, "Well, that's cool. You want to work with us? We have no money, but will you work with us?" Good thing was he just had gotten a $100 million deal with Adidas, so like the money thing was taken care of. And he wanted to work with the brand because it's very much a part of who he is. And that allowed us to get to work with James Harden. And as Bridget said, the challenge was they wanted to work with him a lot. And he was obviously only going to give us a limited amount of time. But we also had to find out a unique reason why we should work with him. So he just didn't become a sponsor, that we wanted him to be an influencer, we wanted him to be a brand ambassador. And that is where, like she said, the weirdest beard in the NBA. And he's a unique player. He's very different than all the other players in the NBA. And it was less about him being an NBA basketball player as much as being a guy who was really comfortable talking about a weird beard.
Yeah, and to the fact that we help drive innovation, right? So we knew that in order to get people talking about the partnership, it couldn't just be content-based. There had to be something else. So we drove innovation with a company to create Trolli Sour Bright Weird Beards. It's James Harden's own candy. So from the form and the shape to the package design, all the way through the whole omni-channel program that we built with 7-Eleven, we ended up seeing such great results. They had a 5.8% sales lift with 7-Eleven year over year, which is amazing. And not only that, but it drove the buzz that we were looking for, right? We gave our audience something to talk about.
So that came to the next year, which was this year, and it's like, what are we gonna do? How do we continue to keep Gen Z engaged with Harden? How do we continue to add fun ways to work with him, especially in the case of we got to keep him engaged all the time, but we don't have time to spend with him. We can only generate content with him in a very small period of time. And we wanted to get it to a point where kids could feel like they were actually engaged in actually having an experience with Harden. And so what we did this year was we did the thing called Trolli Beardsketball. And what Beardsketball became was a physical structure, basketball, interactive digital experience. And as you can see here, it's basically Harden turned into a basketball hoop. And then we created a digital interactive experience where kids could play against him, and he would trash talk them, he would support them, and we've turned that into an ongoing kind of US tour this year to help generate content, but also bring kids to actually have some type of a physical experience playing against Harden in this weird beard world. We're gonna play a little video to entertain you all with what it does.
As a small gummy brand battling for teen taste buds, Trolli scored a slam dunk by teaming up with NBA star James Harden, taking weirdly awesome, beardly awesome. But there was one problem: Harden's busy schedule. Much like teen facial hair, Trolli didn't have enough beard to go around. So how do you give every fan access to your busy celebrity influencer? Simple, by transforming his mind into a fully interactive, robotic basketball game we call
Trolli Beardsketball. Let's do
this.
Turning James Harden into a live digital experience took writing, recording, and animating hours of video. Developing an iPad mind control device to select from hundreds of responses in real time.
Ready to come at me, bruh?
A few surprises, and multiple game modes from called shots
I want to see a granny shot
to time trials.
15 seconds.
The result? More unique one-on-ones with Trolli's Beardly Awesome ambassador
2028 billion
than stars in the Milky Way. To launch Beardsketball's live digital invasion, we took over a sold-out Toyota Center, where James greeted players with a challenge.
You and me, mano y hupo.
And asked them to prove their skills on a decked-out Trolli basketball court.
Pop me a three-pointer.
Each shot triggered one of hundreds of digital responses. Anything from praise
You just made my beard tingle.
to smack talk
Dumpster fire.
to whatever this is. Giving each fan a unique taste of Trolli and the bearded one himself. But we didn't stop there. With Snapchat spectacles, players recorded first-person views of their unique game. Even James himself couldn't resist. The most skilled players took home die-cut pop-out posters to hone their skills at home. And we even took it mobile, with beard smack talk for fans to share.
You remind me of myself.
Only shrunken.
I'm bad at basketball.
But it's not over yet, because all this Trolli weirdness is coming to a city near you. So get ready for Beardsketball. It's basketball.
Only beardlier.
So we really were using this and continue to use this as kind of our way to engage this audience in a with him, and then also provide and push out a lot of content, shareable content through all the platforms that these guys spend all their time on, and James has also been a really good sport about it as well, playing it, pushing it out, commenting on everybody's experiences, and leveraging some of the newer technology that comes along, like spectacles, to help provide people with kind of their expert, this is how I played them version that they can put out, has really helped continue to make this a really smart and strong program for Trolli in terms of spreading the word and getting kids to stay engaged with it.
Yeah, we've seen such great results. Again, we've given our audience something to talk about, right? I can't stress the importance of that. Just pushing out content goes back to the days when we used to put content on televisions. You have to be engaging. You have to give your audience something to talk about. And especially with this audience, we know that experiences lead to and generate more user-generated content than any piece of content you could put on the internet. And this just continues to prove that for us and for our client. So this is, you saw in the video, we created a digital experience that, we knew that because this is an event experience, not everyone is going to be able to experience it. We wanted more of the Trolli audience to be able to see what it was that we were doing. So from spectacles to creating this digital experience where you can send a smack to your friends. Again, leveraging the limited amount of time and resources we had with James Harden and creating this holistic program around it. These smacks you could send via text message, Twitter, Facebook, just a really fun way to engage your friends and make something that is relevant for this audience that doesn't necessarily have to just do with the brand.
So, big thing, does it work? Yes, it actually works really well. Specifically, so in Houston, so we went to Houston first with this thing, and they had a 20% sales lift post Beardsketball activation within the city for Trolli. Social efforts, it's we've been 6 times other candy competitors. We've doubled the number of mentions. It's been a really effective way to market Trolli using James as really as an influencer and as ambassadors committed to a brand and stays committed to it without having to have him 100% involved in everything we do. And I think that's where it's been uniquely interesting for what the kids really appreciate and love is his beard. That's the part, and that's the part that is uniquely ownable to Trolli as well with the Weird Beard candy that we created for them as well.
It also was really great because our client, while our day-to-day client really believed in this idea of experiences for our demographic, a higher level up where she had to sell it up the chain and we had to help her sell it up the chain, they weren't totally convinced that experiences were gonna be the biggest bang for their buck. And once they saw this number, the 20% sales increase after they activated in Houston, we've now gotten much more budget to go more places with this so that they can continue to see the results and efforts in sales for the brand in general, not just for the James Harden product.
It's, it's one of the things that we've learned, and again, having a really strong client helps in that when we started working with James, it started as a couple posts, and it just continually started to grow. And being able to react, invest in that, see the effects, and then to stay engaged with Gen Z that kept responding to it was another great. The ability to be flexible was a really strong thing that the client was able to adapt to, and they changed a lot of the way that they approached their marketing for Trolli to adapt to that and realize that this isn't going to be a one and done campaign, that it will change, that it will change on an ongoing basis, that on a monthly basis, sometimes it's down, but then it'll take off, and also to react to what James does and how when he's in season and how well he's doing. There's different rises that are going to happen, and to be flexible with how we could adjust our paid social buys to capitalize on that has been a really a strong partnership with them, and it's as we've discovered, it's kind of, especially that audience, that's kind of where you got to go. Otherwise, to some degree, you're just throwing money away.
I think so. We wanted to bring you guys 3 kind of things to walk away with from this. One is to find ways to make plans with influencers that go beyond having them post on social. So we talked about that a lot, but we've really seen results with James Harden and this event activation, really having it go beyond and live beyond just him posting on social or our brand associating with him by posting in social.
And the second one is the content. You know, we got to give them something to talk about. You know, we've also heard a little bit about it today already. The creative, the content, what we create, it's got to be entertaining, it's got to be interesting, and if they stay engaged, that's what keeps them ignited. And that the last point of understand what ignites your audience is really important, because it's gonna, especially to this audience, it'll change on a weekly basis. And how do you adapt to that, but still stays core to the idea of what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a weirdly awesome world for Trolli. With James, it's Beardly Awesome World. But staying consistent to that core idea and being flexible to what they find their interest in.